afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Talking Horses. Anthony Stabile, Andy Serling. As we close out, this is it, the end of the winter meet. Dylan's up. He's up
8.
a lot. Yeah.
He's up 8.
Be tough.
And I think Trevor has 8 mounts today.
Yeah, it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough for him to lose.
He's locked a tie.
It's a good meet. He's had a very good meet. It's ridden very well.
For sure.
I think, I think the biggest change for Dylan, he's always been a good rider. It's not like he's, just the bad rider who got good. He's gotten more aggressive. And not to say he's sending everything, but I think he's done a better job of having his horses in position. I think that's made a real difference.
When he came back from the injury around Memorial Day,
he came back
stronger. And maybe the aggression comes from the strength, vice versa.
Maybe maturing as a rider.
Yes.
But he's had a great meet, as have others. I mean, listen, Trevor McCarthy's had a sensational meet coming back here.
Phyllis paid him a big compliment yesterday. She watched the final winner, I think.
Phyllis is Anthony's mother, in case you're wondering.
She watched.
Everybody knows. She's like Madonna.
She watched the final win yesterday, and she said, "Wow, he really looks a lot like Robbie, his dad, on a horse." And Robbie was one of the most, hard-nosed, hard-knocking riders we had here for a very long time. And that's a big compliment.
He's been so good. He's almost been as good as his sister has been. I am the president of the Jackie Davis fan club. And she's had a great meet, by the way.
Maggie and I were talking about on America's Day at the Races yesterday. A fantastic meet from limited chances. Trevor McCarthy came back from California. He had a fantastic meet. First-time agent Joe Migliori did a great job with him.
Yeah, both those guys overcame Miglioris. I mean, Dylan overcame Mike Migliori, and Trevor overcame Joe.
I just should have kept
my
mouth shut. I just should have kept my mouth shut.
It's impressive.
I shouldn't have just.
And Manny Franco.
That was like Pippen to Jordan.
Manny
I was like,
Franco,
here you go, buddy.
Kendrick's had his usual good meet, and Manny really picked things up. He came from way back to make a rush.
Got to see Jose Gomez start to emerge, right? This was a fun winter. And we got away with, I know we had a few cancellations, but for the most part, the snow stayed away, and we were able to get through this.
It wasn't the best of weather winters, but it is winter. It is what it is.
I didn't shovel.
I did a lot of shoveling, you know me. Yeah, when it snowed, I went out to the outer boroughs.
What'd you charge, 40 an hour?
Whatever. I don't want to tell you because you'll look to cut into my action.
I will cut it. I'll be ready to shovel next winter.
Head over to Naira Bets. If you're not a member of Naira Bets, use the promo code STAKES200. Sign up for Naira Bets. Become a member. Keep the money in the game and support racing in New York. Very important. What else do we have? We have a $20 exacta bonus. 20%. I'm sorry, 20% exacta bonus. Exactas all day at Santa Anita.
Good to hear the dulcet tones of Frank Miramati all day.
For your Frank Miramati, you deserve a 20% exacta bonus for putting up with Frank. We deserve that. It's a great man. Tampa Bay, you get a $10 bonus. Bet 100 or more at Tampa, get $10. Win or lose. We'll be showing the last 3 at Tampa on America's Day at the Race today, including the Naira Bets Sprint.
Yeah, there you go.
I mean, it's going to be wild.
Slobberknocker.
Just incredible down there. A couple of scratches, the 8 and 9 scratched out of that race. Also, Belmont Stakes tickets. They're going. I can hear them going as I sort of hit my ear. I can hear them leaving. It's going to sell out. No, all kidding aside, going to sell out. Going to be a great day. Tickets are on sale. Get your tickets, even just general admission, but limited to 50,000. It will sell out. And finally, last and least, FS2, FS1
big,
today.
Yeah, FS1.
Wow.
Come on, man.
That's big. That's why I dressed up, especially. 3 to 6:30 on FS1.
You wore your stripes today. On the tie, anyway.
It's a little stripe in this jacket, actually. Race
pinstripe.
number 1, I see that when you look at race number 1, I guess the horse to beat of the ones that have run is My Delicious, who probably should have won last time. We'll take a look at the replay, last race. But you're talking about a horse that last time this horse met Because of the Brave, who's off the claim for Dylan Clark, who beat me in Whirl yesterday. This horse beat Because of the Brave by 4 lengths on that day, and this day probably should have won this race. Had a lot of chances, and I think you and I probably looked at it the same way.
That was it.
A horse to beat has had a lot of chances. Ran better Because of the Brave when they met. So we took the first-time star for Rob Atras. He's 5 for 28 with first-time stars on dirt for what it's worth, with 11 hitting the board. It's a first foal from an unraised dam. I got nothing to say. It's a cop-out pick because I think I can speak for you. We didn't want the others.
My rule, I don't have a lot of, there's no There are no absolutes, but when they get to 0 for 10,
Anthony has absolutes.
no,
Don't
there
kid
are no
yourself.
absolutes in racing. In racing, there are no. Oh, there are absolutes outside of this place, but inside this place there aren't. You need to keep things fluid. But the 0 for 10, when they get to the double digits, you got to try to, I think, you owe it to yourself to pick against them. And like you said, beat the other contender by a long way the time they met, and I just want the firster.
I'm with you. And I'm just, Brian Nadeau has a light jacket on today. at
They both,
Gulfstream.
him and Ronnie
Well,
look good today.
Ronnie's a close horse. Race number 2. You know, we get to race number 2, and I'm going to show Love and Love's last race when finishing second around 2 turns at Saratoga. And I don't disagree. This is an argument we've had in the past. I mean, she's run well at a mile and 8. She's probably more comfortable with the mile races. She actually ran a race, though. Frankly, I think if she runs this race, she probably wins here.
Yep.
You know, I mean, I didn't want to pick this horse. I don't like to pick layoff horses that are going to be short prices. But Anthony, she's so much better than these horses. And the other thing was,
Just faster than these horses.
I thought about picking Toned Up on top. She's got some races that are okay. Suspended Campaign was last time was the time. Courageous Girl has improved, but has she really improved enough?
No.
And Frost Me comes off a win against inferior horses last time out. If Love and Love shows up, she's going to win this race. I'm not taking a big stand on an even
right.
money shot.
Agreed.
It is a good trainer in Mike Maselli, but she's a lot better than these horses.
Just a lot better. She's a lot faster than these horses. And she's versatile enough where if a horse like Courageous Girl, who I would imagine Courageous Girl would be the one who would try to steal this on the front end, she doesn't have to let her too far out of her sights.
I think
she's faster. I mean, I know she's faster.
She's faster than Courageous Girl, but Courageous Girl seems to be finding more speed lately, so she may be in front in this race, depending on how they're ridden. But, I mean, I guess the other thing with
See how
Love,
sharp she is coming back from the break as well. You know, when she's
won off layoffs.
She's
before.
won off layoffs and she's been sharp. She's been right off the pace. I envision a very similar trip to the one she sat on December 30th.
This is a
December 3rd.
This is a longer layoff. That's what concerns me.
It is.
I mean,
yeah,
this
it's a
horse
concern.
this horse has now been off for 8 months, and she's normally not. And she's not. You know, it's one thing to be off for a few months in the winter and gear up for a more of a summer campaign. She missed the whole.
No,
fall,
I don't disagree
and
with that.
That's a concern.
I don't disagree with that. She missed the whole winter.
Yeah.
Right. I don't
Now the
disagree
other
with
thing you
that.
could say though is she had run 6 times. She's getting older, 7 times really if you use December 3rd.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe Mike felt like, you know what, maybe she needs a break. But she probably had some issues. But they all have issues. I didn't want anybody else. I think Toned Up's the other horse. The horse you have second as
agree.
well.
Yeah.
She's the one. That's the race I said to you. You didn't even notice this. The Emile Foyle ran
Oh
second.
wow! How
race.
funny is
We were
that?
talking about
Well, you
before.
said a couple of weeks ago. This was back in February.
Whatever.
It's March 27th, Andy.
Whatever, dude. Cafe Society who won that race is a Shug McGay, Joe Allen horse, and Emile Foyle, his horse that was in the opening, losing. I love it when we use something in the opening when I got run down for a fortune. Race number Trey.
She got beat by Malafat.
Yes, she did. At least she turned to be a
At
good
least she got beat
horse.
by a
good
champion.
horse, right. At least the horse that beat her turned to be a good horse. So let's take a look at, as we go to race number 3.
I remember getting run down by Peaches and Spice for 3,800 one day.
So why do you like Colloquy?
You know, she just looked like a horse. He kind of looked like a horse that needed his first start.
I agree
The
with
first half mile, he didn't even. It looked like he
He's
didn't know what he
green
was
in the
doing.
stretch. He's
yeah.
the horse moving into 4th, and the outside is kind of lugging in a little bit.
Just
If he had a
gotta
better
think-
trainer, he'd probably been ready for his first
Probably.
start. but-
Yeah. Probably. He made up some ground late. You got to think the extra distance is going to help him. You got to think that. I mean,
Why does the
most
extra
important
difference have
for
to
me-
help him?
Well, the way he was closing at the end, unless he finds.
If you thought he just needed more maturity, what do you care about the extra distance? Isn't that just a
no
false
I
flag?
I think horses like him. I mean, when he went to the post, I would imagine the barn. The way he ran, I don't want to say they knew he was going to need a
No,
race,
they liked him.
but-
So I'm going to end that discussion right now.
Hold on.
They liked him
Hold on a
last
second.
time.
You couldn't like a horse.
No. They
And the
thought
horse not be ready
no,
to
no.
win.
They liked him and thought he was going to run very big in
okay.
that race. So let me just diffuse that
Okay.
notion now. I know for a fact that they liked that horse
Okay.
last time.
All right. I did not know that. Okay.
It didn't dissuade me from betting Juggler, but they liked this horse last time.
Okay.
But the horse clearly ran like a horse.
Yeah,
that
he
needed
needed a race. He needed a race, and
But the reality is going to have to make up some ground because Thrilvit ran okay last time. And Thrilvit could be a horse that's improving a little bit for John Terranova. Was coming off a 3-month layoff and ran the best race he'd ever run. So I'm not going to be surprised when he runs okay today.
no, maybe not.
And I just didn't really see anybody else that I wanted in this race. I mean, maybe the Weaver horse, who really didn't, you watched that race that Front Porch ran last time. I didn't put it up. I know it was a mile and eighth first-time starter. I get it. But that was, first of all, a bad race. And it was a race that completely and totally collapsed at the end. And so I think the running, the dynamics of the race flatters Front Porch. Not to say that he has no chance today, because he does. I say something else, though. I think drawing the outside post is going to help him, because I do feel like this horse was spinning his wheels a little bit, being down the inside, where he was the whole way. And knowing Trevor McCarthy, I'm sure he watched the race and probably feels the same way. So I think drawing an outside post and sort of being outside in the clear will help him going forward. I just feel like he's coming out of a pretty mediocre race.
Yeah, they came home very slowly.
They stopped.
Yeah,
that was the race where the horse was home free.
Sensible
I know a guy who actually miscalled the photo. I don't know if you know that guy.
Anyway.
Oh, that's right. It was you.
Anyway, yeah, I mean, they came home in 14 and change, and
I didn't see the last for a long. I was rushing the set. I was kind of late, so I watched it on the TV in the bay outside, the third floor, and the horse in front was in front by so much the eighth pole. I just went to the set. I couldn't believe when they put the other number.
It makes two of us.
Make a great point.
But yeah, and that horse was coming out of a claimer. You wonder what he ran against last time. I'll tell you what worried me in here a little bit.
Okay.
I wonder if a horse like Kaz Sugar Bank, and I put the horse fourth. Manny Franco from the rail.
Oh,
I mean,
gone.
This horse is going to be supposed to be three in front of these
This horse
horses,
is
right?
gone. I agree.
And I wonder, if Colloquy is still looking to find his way a little bit, and we're right about Front. I mean, I probably should have put him ahead of Front Porch.
You want to get this horse off? Got to get a mile with this horse.
I know that was the big thing, right? If this horse
ran
was
a
going to
55
7,
at Penn National, ran a 55 by at Penn National.
If this horse was going 7 or 6, 6.5, it'd be a different story. But trying to get the mile off that one race.
But these are connections. They're not afraid to come to New York with a New York bred first, or like that horse that's re-entered.
And they're not afraid to use their speed. This horse will be in front today.
Oh, well, he's in front, but I'm just talking about they'll ship him to New York. I don't know. Once again, I'm going to stick to my rule until broken. Unless your name is Fabulous Strike, and if you run at Penn National, if you're a Penn National horse,
don't
you're going to have to
disagree.
prove it here to me.
That New York bred didn't really run well the other day.
That's right.
Yeah.
Race number
loomed and just flattened out the last 3/16 of a mile.
Right, that was the race that Kimmel sourced 1 second off the layoff. Race number 4, you've got the Jerry the Nipper situation to deal with. Take a look at Jerry the Nipper's last race. I don't know what to do with a horse coming off 15 months. The other thing is, there figures to be a little bit of pace in here. So.
Yeah, I had two bugaboos about him, which is why I put him.
Okay, go ahead.
Why didn't I write this down? Oh, there we go.
I don't know.
This is the reason.
Why didn't you write it down?
Well, I don't know. I don't know. I put the picks on the back.
That's the question.
So
should we have a poll?
No. So here are the two things. There looks to be a little bit. I mean, the layoff's obvious, right? There looks to be a little speed in here.
15 months.
The other thing is, in his 2 form cycles so far, it certainly looked like he could use the race. Right, first time out, it looked like he needed the race, came back and ran 15 points faster.
Okay.
Off the layoff, he came back, he ran well, came back and ran 8 and then 10 points faster. So I wonder if we're getting the best version of Jerry the Nipper first off the bench.
He's also, and this is something you bring up more than I do, and not to say that you're right or wrong, but I think you're probably right. He's a horse that's got a lot of gaps. I mean, this horse didn't debut until January of his 3-year-old year. Okay, then he's off after his second start for 8+ months, and now he's off for 15 months. So now, on the other hand,
we were surprised. If you recall, we were surprised when he came back as quickly as he did. I mean, he came back in like 3.5 weeks.
Yeah. No. He came back in 5, 6 weeks.
No, the December to January.
We
were surprised, and he came back and he galloped. And
the Gettin was good.
We didn't see him. Now we don't see him for
and now
almost
he's also
15
against
months.
opens. Don't forget he ran his New York bred conditions. Now he's against opens. Now listen, he also ran figures to make him the horse to beat. He runs his last 2 races. He's going to be very hard to beat in this race, but I don't think the dynamics set up that well for him either, because they could be moving a little bit up front. So what did I miss about Rocco Strong?
I jumped off last time. I think
he perceived last time.
Yeah, I understand, but isn't he the one? See, I felt like he would get a nice trip in here. The trip he's gotten basically in his last 2 with.
Well, you could
Jerry
say that
Nipper.
about the 2, 4, 5, and 6.
Well, you could, but this horse is the horse to me who's in form. I don't disagree with full court press me any of those. Look, I was going to take a shot against Jerry the Nipper.
But this horse is slow, and he's going to be overbet because he's off 2 wins.
Oh.
That's my concern.
Okay.
Is he's just too slow.
Okay.
And he's got 2 wins. I mean, be perceived.
But
Listen,
if I'm going to take a layoff horse, I'm taking Jerry the Nipper.
I'm going to take full court press.
Okay.
And we'll take a look at his last race when he ran second to Will Sing for Wine in a race. The Mahamel, the horse in the Shadwell Silks, was a heavy favorite, didn't run, came back and ran a big race. This was a pretty good race. And I'm going to tell you, this horse, what's interesting with this horse was when he improved so dramatically off the claim for Horacio de Paz, he's the only horse that Horacio's won off the claim on the dirt in the last 5 years.
Wow.
The only one.
The only one.
And he ran well. Now, I agree, he has that layoff. Now, to be fair, his layoff is sort of a winter layoff. It's not the same as Jerry the Nipper's. It's 15 months versus 6 months. I was impressed with how this horse ran. I don't totally trust him, and I don't love layoff horses, but I thought his last 2 races were pretty good. That race, Saratoga, he ran.
He did.
I know they weren't killers in there, but he ran.
Yeah, he did.
I'm going to try him. What about mandatory? Kimmel has horrible. You know what John Kimmel's done? Off maiden wins in the dirt. John Kimmel is 1 for 27.
Wow.
That bothered me. He's not bad though.
He's not bad. But it took him a while to get out of the maiden ranks. Rational Choice was kind of life and death the other day at 2 to 5.
I think it was a bad race that he ran. Ran a pretty good figure.
I don't know.
I think Rational Choice is okay. I'm not going to be shocked if he runs okay here.
No,
you
I
got
won't be
him
shocked.
the same place.
Yeah, I won't be shocked.
That's a tricky race. And, you know, Kaz's Beach at times has run well enough. Tough horse to ride. He's a tough horse to ride.
Kinda
Trevor
gotta time
McCarthy
him,
is the
yeah.
one who's had the most success with him. He's kind of timed it perfectly with him. What about Chowda? Chowda's got some okay races on
Yeah.
the outside. I mean, at least is the speed.
But he's going to be
outside
he's going to be
speed.
forward, right?
But he's on the outside, so he doesn't have to, you know, get buried. He's got
guess.
races. I'm going to tell you something. This is a pretty deep race. I think
It
a lot
is.
of horses can win this race.
I don't disagree with you.
All right, race number 5. A lot of firsters in race number 5. We'll start, though, with the one that ran. Everyone loves Linda. Who is this Linda that everyone loves? Do we know?
Dr. Bernie owns a piece of it, too. But
Well, he
I
should
don't
know.
I don't think he named it.
Well, I mean, you should at least know who Linda is.
Rudina, he runs under Rudina, but those are his parents, his late parents.
She's
so
okay.
That I know. Yeah, she's fine.
I'm not going to be surprised if she does well in here. It just feels like there has to be at least one firster in here that's better than she is.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't disagree with that. I put her second. She's accomplished
Runs
enough.
the same
She's run
figure
well
every
enough.
time, mid-60s.
Yeah.
There's got to be somebody better.
You would think somebody in here can run a 68.
Is there a
Yep.
story on the Mott firster?
So I have heard conflicting reports on the Mott Firster.
Oh.
I have heard, and I didn't want to bother anyone because we don't do that here. Somebody said.
Speak for yourself. I bother a lot of people.
Somebody said the barn. Now this filly's been here all winter.
There's no conflicting story in that. It's there in the workout.
That's a
She's
fact.
been here all winter.
One report
Maybe
was
went to the Bahamas for a weekend.
one
but-
report was she's, an ordinary filly can absolutely win. One report is somebody in the barn said it was the best filly they've ever gotten on.
Okay, well that's
That I
we
would
know is-
believe the former before I would believe the latter. But
You make a
I
great
will say
point.
this: David made her the 5-2
You know why
morning
he
line
made her the
favorite. I
5-2?
don't.
Because Jose Ortiz is named on her.
Right, but Jose
I'm
Ortiz
gonna
going to
say-
ride Yo Cuz.
I understand that, and you understand that, but a lot of people are going to see Jose
Okay,
Ortiz riding
fair
this
enough.
horse and bet this. I don't know that for a fact, and but I'm guessing that one of the reasons he made this horse 5-2 is the presence of Jose Ortiz.
I wouldn't disagree with that. I will say this,
She also got some fast work showing.
and that's what leads me to believe that maybe there is some credibility to her having some talent.
Well, maybe the person who has the best race better has only been on 2 horses. So in that
That
case,
is not the case.
Okay, so. Well, the problem.
so I put her on
the
top because
problem
I didn't
isn't
know what
even
to do.
Anthony, who believes a lot more racetrack voodoo than I believe. But even
And
you'll
is the
admit,
biggest Bill Mott fan there is.
You will also admit that the term "the best horse I've ever
Oh,
ridden,"
forget
or
about it.
that it's just used.
Wish we had a dollar for every time we heard it.
Preposterous,
Yeah.
right? How about just saying?
She's a nice filly.
Nice horse as well. We were talking. It's funny. The horse in the rail is sired by Birdsong, and we saw that horse, Pretty Birdie, run a 95 buyer yesterday at Oaklawn. And I was saying to you earlier, I didn't remember Birdsong as a horse. I remember the Grateful Dead song. It's a tremendous Grateful Dead song named Birdsong.
You said that to me when
It's
Birdsong
named
was running.
for. It's
so you
named
know.
for. It's written for Janis Joplin, actually. In case you didn't know that.
I did not know.
This is the third fall from that one. You've got
That's different than Songbird, right?
Yeah, it's much different. You've got 2 Chad Brown firsters, and I've got him 1-2 because it just seems like everything he has run here has been live. The number 2, Bozart, is after Nocturnal. Ran for Todd Pletcher, was pretty good. The third foal. Second foal couldn't run, but one could. Run up the score, 2 foals to the dam, didn't do much running. It's kind of a little more turfy pedigree, but this is, I mean, these are the Klarovich ones, right? The Lord Nelsons that sold for $220,000. The Lord Nelsons have underachieved. But if anybody's going to have the stable that had the best Mark Valesky, shouldn't they have the best Lord Nelson?
I would assume.
The best Adios Charlie? How many more Grade 1 winners do you think Adios Charlie's going to have? For pattern recognition. So I'm going to take the barn. I think the Klarovich stable probably has the owner's title wrapped up.
2-win lead over Windy Lee and Rapoli.
There you go. There you go. So it'll win today, and they've got a heavy favorite later. And they could. I think it'll be the first Aqueduct winner title. It's going to be a huge moment. Be some tears.
Seth
probably shed. Yeah, he's coming down for the. Yeah, he wants to be here for the big day.
I'll get him. We'll take him up to the Equestrians, grab a bagel together.
Yeah. He's not here, in case anybody's wondering. Okay, so I took that one. Guessing that one's a live runner. We got another firster in here. Looking for this race. Seen some decent.
Should be fun.
Seen some good maidens over the winter here. You know, it's interesting. I mean, you know, and talking about the Klarovich, one of the reasons they haven't won in the winter is they're not running a ton of claimers. I mean, they'll run them more in the summer and things go through. You look at the wins they've had, that stable, they've been maidens and allowance winners. They haven't been claimers.
No, it's impressive.
And I think it's attributed to the fact the racing overall, we've had some good racing here this winter.
Yes, we have.
And that's what's allowed that to happen.
Yes, we have.
Got 4 more, late pick 4, after a quick break.
Who you betting on? How about an app created specifically for horse racing? Naira Bets. We specialize in thundering hooves, fist pumping, and boosting your bankroll with robust weekly promotions. And offer betting tips from actual horse racing experts. Bet all day and night, nationwide. Get the action and thrill of horse racing with Naira Bets.
Welcome back to Talking Horses. Anthony Stabile, Andy Serling, race number 6. I like race number 6 today. What are we doing in race number 6? So, who do you have on top in here?
It's all relevant on top.
Coming back a week after kind of running mediocrely last time, Anthony. Why is today going to be different?
He's back where he belongs. He's just going to. This
it's
is
an
what
easy
I
deal?
would imagine. I would imagine you're going to see the freewheeling. I don't know anything about. I don't know this for fact, but I would imagine. Speaking of striking while the iron's hot, this is a horse obviously who misses chunks of time in his career. He's good right now. He's come back good after
He looks
those races.
good, he eats good.
I would just imagine that they're just going to let him roll from the rip here for the quarter,
He is the controlling speed.
and he just get the job done.
Okay. I think he's a cop-out pick. I'm not going to be shocked if he wins. I don't like his last race. I understand they were okay horses. I didn't like that last race. His race 2 back was good.
I didn't like the way he was ridden last time, and I have been Jose Gomez's biggest fan. I didn't like trying to rate him on the front end, and I know he got beat first time back when they let him run from the rip and he went 44 and change. But listen, there aren't too many horses on the ground.
Well, they went after him the first quarter
Yeah.
in that race, and that's what sped it up.
I would let him roll. I would just give him his head here.
Well,
let
you
him
know,
roll.
you're getting down in weight. You could be riding again soon. You could
Somebody
get back
offered
to
to
your days.
somebody offered to take my book the other day. Next winter, I'll be riding weight. I won't be riding weight, but I'll be.
So, okay, I'm not going to be surprised if he wins. Not a horse I want to bet on, but I do want to bet a horse out of the 9th race on February 25th, and it's certainly not Easy Shot. And Easy Shot to me is the kind of horse you want to book in this race. They're going to bet off the nose win, and Crypto Cash did win, come back and win. To be fair, with like an 85 or 86 buyer the other day. I think this horse was very opportunistic last time out and getting it done at a fast pace, whereas Bourbon Bay was right on top of the pace the first quarter, dropped back a little bit, but made a first move. And I thought Bourbon Bay, of the 2 horses, is the one that ran the better race because he engaged much more readily in there. And I'm going to go to a horse like Bourbon Bay, who's going to be a much longer price because he finished behind Easy Shot. And I know you look at him and you say, well, you know, you're talking about horses that's running 69s and 70s. Well, first of all, I think his 70 is more like a 78 last time. You're also talking about a horse that ran an 88 buyer at one point for Mark Hennig. He's run 78 buyers before. Going out for a barn. We've seen Antonio Arriaga do some good work. He's particularly good when he claims horses going a route of ground. And I think this horse is dramatically improved last time out off the claim. And he's got races to get to. He'll be a good price. I'm betting this horse today.
Okay.
Because the other thing is, I don't disagree with you. It's all relevant to wire the field. I'm obviously not saying he can't, because he could. Dark Storm scares me for Rob Atras. He was bad last time, no question about it. He did kind of get shuffled out a little bit early in that race, but he also didn't do any real running in there. And that worries me, but he's got plenty of races that are good enough to win.
He just doesn't win.
Well, it's not.
He hasn't won in 15 months, Andy.
He hasn't won recently.
He just doesn't
His
win.
record is
He used to
okay,
win,
but he
but
hasn't.
he doesn't
No,
win
you're
anymore.
not wrong. I wrote the same thing down. He's won for his last 13. He's not winning anymore.
Right, he was 4 for 11, and now he's 0 for 11.
No. That's a very. You make another great point. You're just full of great points today. Thought
This
was
Sunday, I got to get them all out.
Thought this was an interesting race, though. We'll see how it plays out. Race number 6.
You know we didn't break, right? Or
What?
did we break? I don't think we broke.
Well, it would be hard for you to know because you were on your phone the entire time that we were
Oh,
in
so
the
we
break.
took a break? All right. I don't remember. I honestly don't remember that we took a break.
Okay, they do. Race number 7. So we'll take a look at Court Conviction winning 2 back. If Court Conviction runs back to either of his 2 wins, his maiden win or his win 2 back, he's going to win this race. Interestingly enough, he's quick, but I don't think he's getting the lead in this race. Sagamore
you think
Mischief's
he is?
pretty
Sagamore
quick.
Mischief?
Yeah.
Oh.
You know what? He probably can get the lead from the
I'm
inside.
going to take my
He's pretty
chances
quick.
with Manny from the rail.
He's got to go.
Yes.
Last time out,
That's the
why did he
worry,
run so
right?
badly? No, I'm not worried at all.
Okay.
Because
He
first
was
of all,
chasing against the track.
he chased outside,
Yeah.
going 2 turns in a fast-paced race on the biggest gold rail of the year. Second of all, I believe he bled in that race. Didn't race with Lasix. Believe he bled. Back on Lasix. I think he's a short price. I'm not trying to beat him, neither are you.
No.
But
I'm not trying to beat him, but I will say this. I am concerned that he could be a need-the-lead type, and you're right.
or at
If-
least under the gun from the rail. But he's also won under the gun.
from the rail.
That race we just watched.
Yeah.
But I
So-
know that you and I both considered very seriously putting a horse we've liked in the past on top, and that's Mr.
I
Phil.
thought about it.
Rob Atras sat and waited until he dropped down, and Sandy Goldfarb waited for this horse to drop. I can just, looking at it, that's the way, I didn't ask them, but this horse
Well,
is...
he didn't run for a tag for almost a year. April 1st of last year
when
was
they
the last time he was in
they
for a
jumped
tag.
in. And he came back to some of his better form last time out,
did.
and he's run some good races. Now, the problem is
Thought he was home last time.
his best races are on the engine. Tough for him to get the lead in here.
Right. But, and I know he won
He
that
can
one
stalk
time.
a little bit. No, he
Yeah.
can stalk. I'm not saying I think he's best.
The
but
last win at Belmont, he stalked from just off of it. Maybe if Sagamore, this race really
he
is
can win.
dependent on Sagamore Mischief here, because if Sagamore Mischief puts enough pressure, or if it can possibly
Nobody
get
likes
in
to
front of
send harder
Cork
than
and-
Eric Cancel.
This would be a little bit more interesting if you switched riders on Core Conviction and Sagamore Mischief.
I think Mr. Phil is going to run well today.
I
and
do
I'm going
too.
to use him. Arthur's Hope is funny. When did we draw this card on? Thursday? I was
Thursday.
talking to David Aragon on Thursday morning, but whatever. And in the midst of our conversation, Arthur's Hope came up.
Wow.
I don't think he's run in New York since October 24th of 2000. 2020.
the
Hudson.
showcase
The
day.
Hudson, yeah. And I texted Dave later and I said, we were talking about Arthur's Hope, and he just showed up in the entries for Sunday. This happens to you and I all the time. It's amazing, right? He was relating, I don't remember exactly what he was relating it to when we were talking about it. He used to be fast, but he's another horse that's kind of lost his speed, and his
Lost
speed was his weapon.
And you know what's funny? He illustrates perfectly. You lose your speed, right?
Well, it goes hand in hand with your form declining.
He's
getting
0
older.
he's 0 for 11 the last 2 seasons.
I do think we should talk about American Monarch, and we'll look at his last race. For what it's worth, Scacciatorian coming back in his next start, having a good trip, ran 7 buyer points slower. He can win. I feel like he had his day last
He
time.
had a perfect trip last time and he won.
Yeah. I think these field horses are tougher.
Yeah.
He's not bad.
No.
He's not bad. He's not impossible in here.
Right. He has. And there's
He's
nothing.
running fast races.
He's improved in every start since the year plus layoff. So there's no reason that he can't take another step forward.
Scacciatori's got a little hang in him.
He does.
He needs the lead.
He does.
Scacciatori, if he's mine, next time he runs, obviously you can't control if there's fast. I want to send him the
I
front
was
at
just
all
looking.
costs.
I was just looking down and looking at his PPs, and Repo Rocks is there. How about that trip yesterday?
Oh, you didn't think that was a good ride? That was some riding.
I've tried to. I've tried
He wasn't
to.
gonna win,
I've tried to.
but that was
You
some
don't.
ride.
You don't think he got beat 3 lengths? You don't think he could have won?
No, but I think he got
I think
some.
you're insane.
Okay,
But
I think you bet him, so you think he could have won. But
I think he absolutely
did get
could've
a horrifically bad ride.
That was
by the way.
unbelievable.
That was a preposterously
That was unbelievable.
dopey ride.
I've
By the way, can I just say, not the biggest shock of all time.
Well, I mean that was. I mean there were 3 different occasions.
That was a
Yeah,
poor ride.
that was
a true head scratcher. I will absolutely.
for a guy that I've defended. That was something.
Well, that makes one of us. Race number 8.
Yo, cuz.
Eastview. Jose Ortiz in Dubai yesterday. I mean, 24 hours ago, the guy was getting ready to ride the World Cup. He's at Aqueduct. That guy. That's a big trip.
That's a big trip. You know, an extensive flyer.
That's
as I am, that's a big trip.
actually about 18 more hours on a plane than you've ever spent.
I've been on a plane for an hour
And by
and
the
45.
way,
hour and
considering what
45
I've spent
minutes.
about the last 4 years of
Hour
flying.
and 45 minutes. No, you went to Oakland. When did you go to Oakland? 3 years ago?
3 years ago. Yeah.
Wow.
But I flew to Memphis and I drove.
Right. Were you walking in Memphis?
Memphis is a great town, by the way. He's going to lose to us. She's going to lose to Stone Creator today.
Wow. Guy's calling a shot.
You know, because Yocuz isn't going to be able to control in this race. With Sandy's Garden in here and Silver Fist in here, Yocuz is not going to have the same trip in the front end
No, she's not.
that she's had. And I think that's going to help Stone Creator, who I'm going to tell you something. I thought Stone Creator ran extremely well last time. Instead of wiring a field on a good rail in her debut, she was forced to chase Yocuz going a mile. I'm not sure she's better going longer. I thought she never gave up in that race.
She never left her.
I thought she ran very, very well for a second
She
time
stayed
start.
on
I'm
nicely.
not knocking Yocuz, but I think that she's going to lose to
And I don't
to
disagree. I don't think she
Stone
wants.
Creator.
I don't think she wants a step past 7.
Well, I don't know. I think she ran well enough to say she could. I just think 7 might help her more. And but it's more to me that the dynamics of the race are completely changed.
Well, they're going to make
Yocuz is
Yocuz
not
do
gonna
something
control.
she hasn't done
Right,
successfully.
Right, and she's going to be a heavy favorite. And now, to be fair, Stone Creator hasn't won without the lead
Correct.
either. But I think it could be an evening factor here, and I think there's a very good chance Stone Creator upsets her today.
Okay.
All right.
I don't, but I can see. I can see your point of view.
All right. I just can't see anybody else winning this race. I mean, I really
Very
can't,
hard to.
with all due
Very hard to
respect.
make. I mean,
Unless you think it's going to fall apart, maybe Captain's daughter gets a piece. But I didn't see her really.
Right.
How about Silver? You know, to be fair about Silver Fist, she's probably the speed of the speed. She's not that bad.
no, she's not. But you'd have to imagine that. I was going to say if one of the two, if Silverfist or Sandy's Garden can get loose, I guess that would be. But then you'd figure
Silverfist
if
is
one of
maybe
those.
faster than Sandy's
then
Garden.
yeah, Silverfist is faster than Sandy's
And I'll say something. Silver Fist is running mid 60 buyers. What, 4 months ago?
Right.
She could be running low to mid 70 buyers here. She's not impossible.
No, she's not.
Yeah, I think she's going to run okay for Chuck Lawrence. Race number 9, well, I came up with an alternative to keep my eyes on the boys, who I don't particularly like, and that was Matula.
Sorry.
They scratched. So,
I mean, what do you?
why do you like this horse? Go ahead.
Why do I like this horse?
No, you picked it.
She's a new face to a crew that I really don't want to
Begging for.
get involved with. Yeah, I mean, you know,
I feel like this is a bar where
Pepper
you've
Grill's-
talked to everybody and you've had enough of them, and somebody new shows up.
Red Pepper Grill.
We'll show Red Pepper Grill's last race.
I mean, this
I
was.
don't know where the 62 buyer came from. Maybe bet the race in Parks
Well,
a
she
year
had
ago.
one at Belmont back in October.
She did. You
So-
make a great point.
And she had one at Parks back in June.
So I guess if she runs
she's seasonal. She's a seasonal
it just
man.
feels like one of these
Filly.
two horses is probably going to win the race. I
Yeah.
don't know where else to go. And listen, I mean, the thing about keep my eye on the boys, did she get better at Finger Lakes? Why did he give her a break and now he drops in for 14? He can't protect her because she ran for 20.
Right.
Now she's running for 14. It's like you spent the whole, I mean, she's obviously been at a farm. I don't think she's been in training. But she was here on December 31st and December 20th, and now she's running for 14. I don't trust her at all. I don't know.
No, I don't trust her either.
wanna
But I
scratch
mean,
into her.
I'll take the fresh face.
But those are negatives. Running for 14, kept her all winter. But maybe they're trying to win a race and lose her. I don't know if they're going to even. They may not even lose her, to be
Yeah.
honest. I'm not sure she's worth 14.
Right.
Then she can go to Finger Lakes.
Yep.
All right.
Not much else to say about the finale,
No,
unfortunately.
not by me.
No.
I had some stuff to say about
We
Matula.
agreed way too much today.
Sorry. Well, there were some races.
not our
that
fault.
weren't particularly. a lot of places to go.
You know, we talked about that. We have a few minutes. We talked about the Keith and the crew down in the racing office really did a fantastic job this winter.
Yeah, they did okay. I don't know. I think Keith did well. I'm trying to think who did well. Rob did well.
Andrew, of course, Andrew's been here for.
You know, there were others that
You just
I
want to
wouldn't
take a
give-
shot at Kevin. Just say it. Just take a shot at Kevin.
You know.
He'll be happy to get his name on the air. Just take a shot at Kevin, man.
I was keeping it off the air, and you put it on the air. I think
Listen,
there are a lot of
the
people at
guys
Naira.
and
There are a lot
gal-
of people at Naira that do a very good job.
The
I
gu-
don't think we need to single anybody out, but
The guys and gals down in that racing office did a fantastic job this winter. And like you said,
what, they have donuts down there or something
they
today,
don't
and you're
know.
planning on
I think I
stopping
missed
after the
everything-
show?
I think I missed everything yesterday. No,
Really? They had donuts yesterday? No?
We've been under the gun.
I think we should talk
shows.
about Epicenter.
We can absolutely talk about
Blowing
Epicenter.
the
That was
horns of
something
Naira
yesterday, huh?
employees. I thought Epicenter was good, and it was a very wise move by Steve Asmussen using yesterday's race to rate him, because he understands there's an abundance of speed. Now, he got a very good trip yesterday, but he showed the ability to sit off horses.
He did.
Now, whether or not he's going to be able to sit off of good speed horses in a different situation remains to be seen, but a 102 buyer at a mile and 3/16. Somebody said to me it was a track record. It's probably like the 4th time they've run that distance.
But that was racehorse time.
No,
yesterday.
that horse ran. That horse was a
That was
comparable
racehorse
race
time
to
yesterday.
Olympiad,
Yeah.
who's been running well for
103,
Bill
102 buyers. So yes.
No, I mean, at this point, I think he's the leader. There's
After-
4
after-
major preps to
After
go.
that race yesterday, he's absolutely the leader going in.
But there's
And
4 major preps.
there
There are
is,
a lot of
and
good horses left to run.
His work is obviously done. He's not going to run again. So he has.
Not coming for the wood?
So he has 6 weeks, right? He's got to wait 6 weeks. That's the biggest bugaboo for me. I don't love the 6 weeks, but I would imagine you'll see him return to the work tab Monday the 5th. No,
How many weeks did
Monday
Barbaro
the 4th?
have before he won the Derby?
5. He was the first one to do it in 5 weeks. He was 2006. I think it was
wasn't 6.
1951.
It wasn't 6.
No, it was 5.
You sure of that?
Yeah.
But now everybody's doing 5s.
Right.
I don't care about that stuff at all. I don't think it makes any difference whatsoever. There just haven't been enough. You say he's the first one to have done it. That's because nobody tried it, to be honest with you. Oh, I got one. Wait, how many weeks was Animal Kingdom off?
That race was, I think it was 4.
The reality, no, it's not 4. But the reality is that,
Oh, Animal Kingdom was after him, though.
but the reality is that very few horses have done it, and they probably have not been outrun by their odds. There's a lot more good horses to run, and there's a lot of preps, whether it's the Wood or the Bluegrass, Santa Anita, Sea Forbidden Kingdom another time. Not sure how much. Well, he'll be running against Messier, so actually it is kind of a big matchup, and the Arkansas Derby as well. The Arkansas Derby, which it's benefited from usually a Baffert, but a California horse coming in. It doesn't have that this year.
It has
So
Secret Oath, though, taking on the boys, so that'll be fun to watch next week.
Yeah, I'll be honest with you. I don't understand the big thrill about the Phillies taking on the boys.
I always think it
especially
adds some
three-year-old
intrigue.
preps.
I think this is a good year for a little intrigue.
I don't know. I think there's plenty of good horses out there right now. Got a lot of lightly raced horses. They're running solid figs. Got a lot of speed coming into this race. I don't know. I think this is a pretty interesting Derby this year so far. It's wide open.
I think she adds some.
Well, we don't necessarily think she's running in the Derby.
Right.
And she'd be better off running 3rd in the Arkansas Derby and Wayne running Kentucky Oaks than running her in the Derby.
Well, we'll see. I think a lot of that hinges on, obviously, if she gets enough points and how Ethereal Road runs in the Bluegrass.
Well, he's got no chance in the Bluegrass. Ethereal Road. And I loved him in the Rebel, but that's the Rebel. You time the Rebel with a sundial.
I get it.
I mean, he's not beat. I mean, he didn't have a great trip in there, but those Rebel horses are a hungry bunch. I'm surprised to see that. I don't know if they're going to be a ton of. I mean, I guess We the People is the now horse for that race.
And he's being pointed to that Arkansas Derby now. There was some talk about him waiting a week for the Bluegrass, but it looks like he's running in the Arkansas Derby.
Bluegrass coming up tough, right?
Run him out of salt. You run him out like just like Wayne Lucas said about Secret Oath. He gets to try the boys and try to get some points by running her out of her own stall. That was important.
She'd be
to
the
him.
first filly to qualify since the point system went.
It's on Fox Sports 1 next week. You guys will be covering that race. I'm looking forward to that Arkansas Derby next week.
All right, we're done. Pretty birdie though. I was impressed with her yesterday.
Yeah, they got
Very good.
big fig.
Yeah. Yeah, Jonathan liked her. I did not like her. Jonathan liked her. It was a good, very good call by him. Anyway, head over to Naira Bets. If you're not a member of Naira Bets, what are you waiting for? Stakes 200 is the promo code. NairaBets.com. Match for $200 initial deposit, 20% exacta bonus. Got to opt in at Naira Bets. That's Sundays at Santa Anita. We've got $10 bonus, bet 100 or more at Tampa. We'll be covering the last 3 at Tampa, including, no, the 9th, 10th, and 11th. We're not covering the 12th, including the Naira Bet Sprint,
Yeah.
prestigious and important Naira Bet Sprint. I like the Mark Casse horse in there. And we've got Valmont Stakes tickets. They're on sale now, in case you didn't know.
I did
We're
know.
capping that at 50,000. Get them. Don't get shut out. Don't miss that day.
Selling like hotcakes.
America's Day at the Race on FS1 today. And I'm just letting everybody know, because he's only reminded you about 17,000 times in the last 10 months. You only have for 4 days to get Anthony a birthday present, because Thursday is Anthony's birthday. And I'm going to promise you, I will not be mentioning it on the show on Thursday. That's my birthday present to Anthony. I won't be mentioning it. But his birthday is on Thursday, and he's accepting gifts.
I'll be
They
here.
can't be more than $50, but anything up to it. $49.99, he's in. He prefers cash, but there's got to be a few other items you would like, right? Look at how happy he is. Look at how happy he is when that birthday comes.
One thing
is
is
it
that-
a full birthday week celebration? Does it
Yeah.
begin tomorrow, or does it begin on Thursday?
No, it begins tomorrow.
The parade, is there going to be like a parade in Howard Beach?
Fantasy baseball draft.
Ooh.
Cigar dinner tomorrow night.
That's right, baseball. Baseball's starting in a week and a half.
Poker and dinner with the boys on Tuesday and Wednesday. And then mom's cooking Thursday.
A friend of mine wanted me to
to
get tickets for opening day at Yankee Stadium, and I said, well, we're racing at Aqueduct. But I might go to opening day at Camden Yards on Monday the 11th. Thinking of that.
There you go.
I haven't gone to opening day.
We don't race
in a
that day.
while. I know, so I can go. So the weather's nice. I think heading down. Excited for baseball to come back.
I'm getting there. I was a little angry with him. The whole millionaire billionaire thing.
It is what it is.
It is what it is.
And you want to get into that conversation, you could be mad about a whole lot of things.
I'll go watch DeGrom and Scherzer pitch an inning or two apiece today. They're both pitching today for the Mets, and I'll be
Same game?
I'll be in a good mood. Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. All right, we're done. You have a wonderful day. John and Brielle, the voice of New York racing, is up next. The reprise, the scratches and changes. Have a wonderful day.